It's WrestleMania Saturday. It's WrestleMania Day. Good morning. This is Jared from the Heel to the Face podcast. Another busy day of professional wrestling in front of us. And I will have to say, it is WrestleMania Saturday, but I did get a sneak preview last night because I was at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony and Smackdown. I'm going to show you some of those pictures right now on this video of that time. And if you are wondering what I'm saying by getting a sneak peek, I mean the show ended at 1 a.m. So when I'm walking back to my car, I'm passing Lincoln Financial Field, essentially, on WrestleMania Saturday. All quiet then, but I imagine later today it will be very, very busy. Some critiques of Smackdown in the Hall of Fame last night. We'll start with Smackdown, and I will say, for a go-home Smackdown, one of the best go-home Smackdowns since they started airing it the day before WrestleMania, there has been. There's only been a few of these, right? There's only been 3 or 4 of these, and 3 in front of crowds, I believe, 4 without. But one of the better ones, they had the Under the Giant Battle Royal, but overall, it was a full show. You had Jey Uso in action, you had a tag team match, you had a women's match, you had the Battle Royal itself, you had some decent promos. So, a full Smackdown for the most part. I went to the Smackdown the night before WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, and I have to say, if I did not stay for the Hall of Fame and just went to that Smackdown, it might have been one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever been to. I think there was a total of 2 matches on the entire card. It was over by 8:30, and the last 90 minutes of Smackdown was just video promos. So much, much better this time around. On a good main event, you saw Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and all the big names. So it felt like a really big ending to Smackdown. Now moving on to the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame, very interesting. You have Paul Heyman as the first inductee, the headliner of this class, and he's the first inductee. And you'll see why maybe that was necessarily a mistake, because when his speech was done, the record-breaking crowd that was at Wells Fargo Center essentially cleared out. By the time this show came to a conclusion with The Rock inducting his grandmother, Leah Maivia, the place was pretty much empty, right? And I have to say, and I said to some friends out there, The Rock, especially in this final boss version Rock, was probably in front of people and talking in front of people the least amount of people he has since he's returned to the WWE. Because I want to say, there was only about 4,000 people left in the Wells Fargo Center of what was probably like 18,000 or close to it before that. So, crazy to think, because after Paul Heyman's speech was done, it was a very long night. A lot of people left, and as the night went on, a lot more people left. The Hall of Fame itself, overall, a full show. I know that they start to put in less and less people, but I think this card right here, they could have done all by itself on SmackDown specifically, maybe in a 2.5-hour window. Thunderbolt Patterson, who knew he was going to talk as long as he did? But, everybody kind of probably talked a little bit longer than many people thought they were going to talk, and that's what made this a very long Hall of Fame. But I will say one caveat, and that this probably could not have been on the Fox network if Paul Heyman gave the speech that he did. Follow us on Twitter, and you can see the video, and Instagram as well. If you saw the Hall of Fame or know what I'm talking about, or maybe saw it on social media because it's not on the Peacock network, you know what I'm talking about. What a crazy speech.
If you think that the spirit of ECW died in a bankruptcy court in 2001, you can suck my fucking dick!
I don't want to necessarily say the best speech in WWE Hall of Fame history, but definitely one of the most talked about speeches in WWE Hall of Fame history. One you will never forget. And I will say, Paul Heyman did not censor himself, not one little bit. There was mentions of Brock Lesnar. There was mentions of ECW, obviously, with all the vulgarities. There's mentions of marijuana there with RVD. I mean, there really was just uncensored Paul Heyman out there at the Wells Fargo Center for the WWE Hall of Fame. I think the ticket was worth it for that alone. But it's WrestleMania Saturday. I hope, everybody, wherever you're celebrating this, it's going to be a massive event. I am layered up here in Philadelphia because unlike previous WrestleManias in Florida and maybe even in Dallas, outdoors, it is very, very cold out. If you're in the Northeast, you know what I'm talking about, and it hasn't warmed up really at all. I think they're expecting in the middle of this show to be around 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which might be one of the coldest WrestleMania. So the stars in the ring definitely are going to have to keep themselves moving, and everyone in the crowd is going to be very bundled up. But tonight, the main event, Rock, right? Roman against Seth and Cody. It's finally here. WrestleMania 40. Make sure to tune to our social media channels all weekend long. Heel to the face.